Okay, we're going to work with some geometric constraints now. And when we use geometric constraints, a line can be made to be perfectly horizontal or vertical. If you have more than one line that's being sketched, they can be made parallel or perpendicular, collinear. They can be made equal in length. Lines can be constrained to be tangent to circles or arcs, and two circles can be constrained to be concentric. You need to be able to use these dimensional and geometric constraints. And the dimensional constraints that we've already done a lot of stuff with were the ones where we use the dimensioning tool right up here. So first thing to do is open this file called geometric constraints and get this on your screen. The next thing is you're going to save this file, and you're going to save this file. I'm waiting for my save command to start. Oh, I know what I got to do. I saved this already, so I got to do a file save as. You're going to save this, and you're going to name it with your last name, space, and then geo. So your last name and geo, that's how you're going to save this thing. I'm having lots of trouble here. I'm not going to rename it now. Anyways, so we're going to zoom in here a little bit. And what we need to do is we need to make this sketch active. And you can do that a couple ways. One is you can just double click here, or you can double click over here on the word sketch 1. Doesn't matter whichever you do. That makes it become an active sketch. So first thing after we do the save is we're going to use the text tool. Okay, so I've got the text tool started, and I'm going to type my last name. And I'm going to change the size of this text. I'm going to highlight this. I'm going to change the text size to 0.375. And I'll say OK. And now I've got the text in my lower right-hand corner. So you need to make that text 0.375. All right. Now we're going to zoom in so we can just take a look at these a little closer. The geometric constraints are right up here in this area. And if you put your cursor on them, they will put a name on the screen and tell you what they are and how they work. For instance, this is perpendicular. This exercise tells us to make this one perpendicular. So I'm going to click on the first line being this one and the second one being that one. So you click on the line that you want to move first. And that helps us because this is on the back of the page that you've been given here. You want to make your sketches look like this. So I wanted this line to be the one to move, so I clicked that one first. Back to Inventor. Next up, I'm going to use a parallel constraint. Parallel is this guy right here. And because this one, well, we'll look at the drawing and see, yeah, that one looks like the one that stayed in position. Oh, it's that one. So I'm going to click this line right here to here, and then this line here to here, and we end up with 3 lines that are parallel. Third one over, this is going to be dimensions. So I'm going to dimension number 3 to a diameter of 2 inches. And then I'm going to fix the circles, numbers 1 and 2, and we're going to make this circle number 3 tangent to 1 and 2. So first thing, I use a dimension, and I go right on to number 3, and I'm going to change that to a value of 2. Next thing, I'm going to fix these 2 circles, numbers 1 and 2. The fix tool is this thing that looks like a lock. Then I'm going to click on the edge of the circle and the edge of this circle right here. Now, The next part of this is to make the tangent, make 3 tangent to 1 and 2. And in this instance, I'm going to click on that circle and the big one. Then I'm going to click on the number 2 circle and the big one. And I end up with 2 circles that are circle number 3 being tangent to 1 and 2. Tangency can now also occur with lines. So it says make the circle tangent to both lines. So I've got my tangency constraint going. I'm just going to click on the circle, and I'm going to click on the line. I'm going to click on the circle again and click on the line, and I end up with this big giant circle. And what am I supposed to have in a Word document? Yeah, it's going to be a big giant circle. Okay. Then I'm going to fix point C. Now point C is this one right here. And then I'm going to make the endpoints of A and B coincident with C. So I'm going to use the fixed constraint. That's that lock. I'm going to put my cursor right on there. Now, it says to make endpoints A and B coincident with C. So when this one's done, it's going to look like this down here. So let's give this a try. So I'm going to make coincident is the thing that looks like a letter L right there with a little box on the end of it. And I'm going to click the endpoint there and make that coincident with there. Whoops. You know what? I think I actually fixed the wrong thing in place. I'm actually going to put the fix on and hit the center of that circle. Okay, now we'll try again. Coincident, point A to there, and then the coincident's still going, so it's going to be the end of that line to there. So the circle stayed in place, and that's why we had to fix the center of it. I'm not sure what the circles are here for. Those are kind of weird. Okay, next up, making circles concentric. That's the concentric geometric constraint right there. Let's take a look at our picture, and it looks like the smallest one was the one they kind of did this on. So I'm going to start with the smallest one. Well, we'll use this one first. I'm going to select the first arc and then the second arc. So that moved that first one to the in concentric with the second one. That one and that one. And concentric means that they all have the same center points. Collinear. That is the collinear constraint right up in the middle. And collinear makes the 2 lines ends meet. So I'm going to click again the one that I want to be moving to the one that I don't want to move. So that's collinear. Horizontal. Well, horizontal means going from left to right on the paper. So I'm going to use the horizontal constraint. And he is right. No, that's equals. Sorry. This is horizontal. Sort of looks like 2 lines, one with the little red slashes coming off. So I select that one and that one. Now those 2 lines are horizontal. Make the lines vertical. So this is the vertical constraint. And I can just click on all of these. And that makes them vertical. Equilateral triangle. That's this guy right here. Let's take a look at what he is. Equilateral means equal on all sides. So equilateral triangle, equal on all sides. I'm going to use the equal sign. And we're going to make that the first one. And then that one is going to become equal to the first one. And then that one and that one are going to become equal. And now we have an equilateral triangle. All 3 of these lines are equal. By the way, the things that you see here, these little symbols, those are called the geometric constraints, and we can turn them on, the visibility of them, by using this box right here. It says Show Constraints. And then if we sort of go out in the air here and release the cursor, you'll see all the geometric constraints. This one has parallel and equals, and you can see when I put my cursor on the constraint that one turns red, as does the one in the upper left hand side up there turns red. So it's telling you which one it is equal to. Make the circles the same size. Again, this is an equals thing. So that's the first one. I want it to become the size of the second one, or vice versa. I want this one to become the size of, equals. I want this one to become the size of this one. And then line up the centers of the circles on the same horizontal plane. So I'm going to use the horizontal tool. I'm going to click on the center of that circle and the center of that one. So you saw the one I want to move comes down. The center of this one onto the center of this one. And just for fun, why don't I make them all the same size? So I'm going to make this one the same size as this one, and this one the same size as this one. Now, I'm going to finish the sketch. I'm going to make sure I save it. And then you are going to print this. Make sure you choose the right printer. I'm going to be using, well, my printer, the Ricoh printer, isn't here on mine, but you make sure you choose the printer and then preview it and say OK, and then print it out and put it in the turn-in box. That's the end of that.